This is excellent. So we are going live finally with the shipping spawn for the aliens, server room for the marines. That's interesting. And it's going to be no gorge and a 2-2-1 split for the aliens and no armory or arms labs. So a 3-2 split for the marines. That's really interesting. Initial engagement looks like it will be in mezzanine. Nice parasite onto Wee, double parasite. He's losing a lot of armor there, just tagging them over and over, and he's really running out of armor. Looks like these three guys are going to try and hunt Alcalde. He is around the corner, and he's got Onzor just around the next corner. Nate catches him nicely. But there's three skulks in position in the northern side. Maybe Malga goes for the extractor. Maybe he goes for the crush onto the platform location. All the while, elevator transfer is being penetrated by those two marines. And you've got a solo defense. So there's a lot going on the map right now, and this is going to be difficult for the aliens if they don't start getting some kills and clearing the map up of marines. Great job from Wob. 3% HP there, and Ancestral from behind clearing that marine. They were separated. Now Tane is taking a 2v1 perhaps, depending on what these aliens choose to do. A 2v2, holding off these two guys at elevator transfer. Very nice job from the aliens. Not actually winning a significant amount of combat, yet still holding the marines off due to the parasites and not losing too much health when going for those parasites. Malga trying to take the platform, RT. Nice job outsmarting Nitsi there, who was trying to get through the vent, trying to be sneaky. And then he outplays him. He goes straight through. Three skulks in mezzanine. Base was actually a little bit vulnerable there, but they didn't quite know. And at this point, they really have got to worry because logistics is completely covered by marines. And observation probably will go down too. 4 extractors are up. That's elevator transfer, mezzanine, and platform, as well as the spawn. And this is the only other harvester the aliens have at this point. They have a crush with the 3 skulks. 2 of them have actually really done a great job of taking out both of those marines that remained. And only 2 skulks defeated, not all of them. Really nice win here. Onzor's going to have a really difficult time taking on Tane and Nate. And the Saunamen guys are being extremely aggressive. Here comes the respawn wave, and Onzor needs to hold these guys off and be very careful. He is alone right now. The drifter goes down. That was somewhat inevitable. It was kind of stuck in this room, and now Onzor is being hunted. He's got the parasites on there. That was a really nice job taking the parasites and not getting killed. Maybe a bit of a base rush. You can see sort of a general movement here to get through. And with so many aggressive plays, you can see you've got 3 marines in the southern side of the map, meaning you've only got 2 marines in the northern side. So maybe you clear that up with 4 skulks and take the base on. Maybe force a beacon, but they don't have an observatory. So you've got to go for a big play at this point. When they're being this aggressive, you've got to go pretty aggressive as well. Base is vulnerable. 2 spurs are complete. Nate and Tane going for eggs. Highvol is out of the command chair with Malga running straight into that fight, but not quite getting any significant damage done. Highvol's back in the chair, maybe ready to pop some eggs if he needs to. Alcalde with a fantastic flank straight through south tunnels with a lot of speed. Ancestral, Highvol, and Alcalde take down Nate because those two guys were split apart and didn't have line of sight of each other. You got Wob taking on Nitsi just long enough to bring in Alcalde. Now they've got great different line of attack here, forcing Nitsi to look to 2 different angles. Great job minimizing damage there. Llama versus Onzor. This is a nice little 1v1 engagement. Onzor, we've seen him do it before. Slow and steady. He doesn't want to take the engagement until he's ready. And Ancestral comes in with a lot of speed. And now they can outnumber him and actually Tane with the long range assistance though. So good job bringing Tane into support. Warehouse, you've got 1 guy versus 1. Alcalde with the parasite. Not quite hitting Wee here. Now he's forced to retreat because he's low health. Wob with the 1v1 onto Nitsi. And we're seeing a lot of small engagements right now. And it's really playing into the Marine favour because they're winning quite a lot of them. You can see Malga and Ancestral here taking out 1 marine, and our mezzanine is vulnerable. But Saunamen guys are already way ahead on extractors. Despite having lost quite a few, they've still got that maximum at the 5 there. You can see they're at the 5 and maybe even pushing to 6. Malga maybe looking to take on Nate, who's dropping mines, so they've called the fact that they're dropping mines in the base, which is good to know that. Malga going for the nice drop attack. Yes, double bite, and very nice with the triple bite, taking him out without any response. Fantastic job from Malga, just outsmarting him there. Base is vulnerable despite the mines. And again, they're in it. Look at this. All 5 aliens are right up against server room with none of the marines in defense. But they refuse to go for the base push, and I think that might cost them. Nitsi a solo defense in hub. They've taken out hub, but it didn't really matter that that guy was in hub. He wasn't getting very much achieved. Spurs right now taking huge amounts of damage, and one of them will go down. But Llama and Tane right now near the back of the room, but still reloading. And here comes Ancestral doing a great job of their significant damage against those 2 guys whilst they were reloading. And now a nice cleanup. But again, I really think the base could have been a good play. Because at this point, they're just taking extractors, going aggressive. And there's so many extractors they've got to kill at this point. It's going to be really tough for them. Highvol, the commander, he's fed up of sitting in the chair with unable to do anything, so he's got out, headed toward processing, maybe to just get a nice quick kill. He does try and tag him with the parasite, not necessary though, he already is quite low on HP. Highvol goes for the extractor. Onsor gets the extractor at warehouse, although he'll have a 1v1 as soon as it does. Malga coming in to make it a 2v1 could be really important, because if they can kill Wee without losing one of these skulks, they can move on to ore processing and start clearing these extractors much quicker. That's going to be Onsor for ore processing alone. With 2 guys in repair room, here's the lurks finally out with the 5-minute mark. They're so delayed. Wob and Ancestral flying around together, which is good. You need to work together as those lurks. And you've got Onsor in the top as well. And not quite sure what they're going to be doing. Looks like they're trying to deal with the recappers. You've got Tane solo up in the north in warehouse. There's no way he can take these 2 guys on. They're playing really well. Ancestral takes a lot of damage. And he has to be careful trying to get back to his hive to heal if that is his choice. Here comes the hub. Look at these guys mobilizing. Trying to cut these lurks off. You can see they went straight for the plate to cut them off. Wasn't successful. The 2 lurks get back to the hive to heal. But that's the risk of sending those lurks straight through to warehouses. There's a lot of areas you can cut them off. You've finally got Onsor and Malga just outside the spawn again for the Marines. Only 1 guy in defense. There's Tane with the Parasite. Nice one from Malga. There's a mine. Just about next to the little circle I drew. And Onsor walking through platform, trying to catch Nitsi. It's a good job from him, trying to outsmart these guys, not trying to take the fight at the extractor, but going to a secondary location nearby where he can try and initiate on this guy with a little bit more of a surprise. Here comes Ancestral and Wob with Malga from behind. That's the double lurks with the Skulk. There's a mine on that extractor, and the lurks choose not to go for it. But they are clearing other mines, which is valuable. It looks like Onsor retreated to warehouse rather than take the platform fight, and this is looking a little bit better. They do need to deal with this guy in logistics, otherwise he's going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Here comes Ancestral, nice and quick. Crag goes down to Nutte's furious attacking. He didn't even care about the lurk there. And that Harvest is dead as well. That's going to cost him a lot of T-res, and it's going to set them way back. Especially with those fades a little bit delayed already as well. So it's going to be very late fades. Good upgrades for the Marines. You've got that Weapons 2 coming along. Shotguns Armor 1, Weapons 1 already. Wob and Ancestral, this double lurk play. Still not getting anything significant done, but at least they're not dying. Phase Tech has started. This is the point where they really need to step it up and do loads more damage. They need to really get a lot of these extractors down and maybe even go for the base a bunch more. At this point, Tane had a nice opportunity to take a 2v1. Doesn't actually get both of them down, but does get one of them. Now it's important to actually reduce the damage that he's going to take on his building. Maybe even saves it when he comes back to life and tries to recover that shotgun. They've built observation, so there's an extractor there. A lot of money for the Marines right now. You can see these 2 guys are coming aggressive. You've got 2 shotgunners coming up against a lurk in the hive, and he might actually go down at this point. Wob in a lot of trouble there. You've got Alcalde just round the corner as that second lurk. Hivol gets out the chair. This is looking really bad. If you take a look at this, Hivol, the commander, is dead. Ancestor with low HP near the hive, but these guys really have the room to themselves at this point. One of the Spurs is dead. The next one's going to go down anytime soon. You're going to get a respawn wave. There's Wob with the respawn. Llama and we maybe should have been paying a little bit more attention to the respawn wave. But there it is. Hivol's back in the chair. They lose 1 spur and 1 lurk. Crag is replaced in the base, and maybe we're seeing that spur as well. But they've got very little money, and that losing that spur is going to cost them long range for the next few minutes. A little bit of a flank onto Nitsi, who's in the vent with a shotgun. Nice scan goes down behind him. At this point, those Saunamen are looking very good. They've got a lot of extractors. They've got the phase tech unlocked, and this is going to be their play to put the phase gates probably in a hub. And maybe even repair. There it is. And repair room. We've got the first phase gate out on the map outside the spawn. And again, you've got a great opportunity to go and attack stuff on the northern side. Although this time they've got the phase gate to contend with, so they'll have a hard time actually attacking the base itself. But they've got a good job taking on warehouse and platform. That's really nice to see. Mezzanine as well, perhaps. Depending on how this 1v1 goes, and if they bring the lurk back in, who is actually not available at this point. If they can clear Nitsi with Onsor, this would be a really nice time to take another extractor out. He's just going for the slow and steady fight, and actually the ladder there slows the Marine down. Nice job, Onsor, finding the observatory, and that's going to be... he's going to take it low. Wee comes in from the side, takes Onsor out. You can see he got it pretty low, though, even that significantly small amount of time. Malga onto the phase gate inside repair room as these Marines push into shipping. Here comes Wee with the single Marine play to defend it, and he takes him out very nicely. That's the weapons too. Not a problem for these guys. At this point, the aliens need to find a new play. They aren't going to get fades anytime soon. It's going to be really delayed for those. And at this point, the Marines are just taking a lot of money. And they need to work out a way to stop that and turn this around. You've got 3 guys with 35 P-res at this point. Perhaps you just make Only one fade. It's hard to call for sure, but I think at this point you need to rethink things a little bit. Maybe go for a gorge in some fights to try and add that extra healing and a bit more pressure into the northern side. By healing these guys up when they get low. For example, a gorge in this fight, Onzo would be full health. Would make it a lot easier to clear up mezzanine. Nice job actually assisting and taking the Harvester at elevator transfer. And Nitzy is alone with a shotgun in here, and they do need to make sure they kill him nice and simply without losing any of these aliens. Great surround, and even on top of him there, just to make it even harder for them to die. Ancestral with the solo defense as they lose their third spur there, 50%, and Nate actually not quite finishing it. Does get it with the next round. But choosing to go for the spur there has made it very difficult for him to clear the room of aliens. And they do get cleared up, but they've just lost all 3 spurs, setting them far, far behind at the 10-minute mark. They're essentially just as strong as they were when they spawned. So this isn't really at all good for the aliens. They need to find a way to work around this. Losing the Harvester at elevator transfer, that's probably doomed, and Onzor's finally dealing with the logistics extractor. But at this point, iMAGINE are trying to hold on, and I don't think they're going to be able to, especially with that Weapons 3 coming on. This is looking very bad. Marines have got everything they need to secure this win. They're playing just aggressive enough to deal with eggs and spurs and everything in the hive. They've cleared up one of the lurks, and the fades are delayed enough that probably maybe the 12.5 minute mark we'll see those fades finally. But there'll be a stage of the game where probably they won't be effective enough to turn it around. Ancestral with the long range spiking. He's doing an alright job, but he takes a huge amount of damage as soon as they change target from the Harvester. At this point, the Marines have kind of just pushed up. They've taken a lot more extractors. Repair room is vulnerable at this point. I wonder if they care. Maybe they're just going for the push onto the hive. Ancestral, he's going to find it very difficult to get out of this section. He's just slightly above this corridor. He could get hunted, perhaps, by Tane, but Tane's got to deal with this skulk on the side, and another one as well coming in. Malga taking a good amount of damage there. He's on about 20% HP, and another Marine comes in. Here comes Ancestral with a very low HP. Does get taken out. Great job from the aggressive Marines pushing through into logistics with 3 of them, making sure that lurk had no escape. We are seeing the 40 Pires tick coming in just a second. Spurs are being replaced, but here come Marines to try and deal with that. 5 Marines, in fact. You've got all the Marines on the play right now, in the middle of a scan, in the middle of the enemy hive. They've got everything they need to just clear up the aliens, deal with the aggression. Alcalde from behind, really good job taking on Malga. Sorry, Nate. Or Nate, perhaps. We've got a lot of shotguns in the room. Only 3 Marines remain. Tane picking up that shotgun that was just dropped from his deceased teammate. You've got a lot of eggs and a giant crag, it looks like. It's actually on the roof. I'm not sure how they managed that. At this point, they've got the respawn waves coming through from the phase gate observation. So even if the aliens clear up these Marines, they've still got to deal with that next wave that's coming in from that respawn. This is looking like a good game where essentially the aliens are running out of eggs and running out of lives. And even if they cleared it up at this point, I think they would still struggle. Where is that what? That's ridiculous.